Howdy, 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 there we are. Alright, let's get over here to where we know what we're doing. There we go. Now let me get it started on my own iPad. Uh-oh. Hold on, guys. Let's see. Mixed. I messed with my overlay. There we go.
There we go.
Now then.
Now it's back.
There we go, that's better. No awkward black space. Okay. And let me get y'all on my iPad so that I can see everybody. Sorry if y'all don't know me by now, I love to sing, so I tend to do that a lot. There we are, and open that up. Let's make sure we're muted. Yes, we are. And swipe to see. Alright. Alright. Anthony is on. Shows somebody else is too, but I don't know who. Because it didn't show me. We'll see if it shows. Anyway, I'll give everybody a few minutes to hop on and join me and all that fun stuff, and then I'll explain what all we're using, and then we'll get started. So, kind of have everything laid out here, and I did make a post about 35-ish minutes ago before this video that has a link to everything that I purchased, everything that I'm using today, and that way you can get it if you don't have it, or if you have it you can follow along with me with what you got. So all of that is there. So oh, my arrow's right on my face. Let's not have that on my face. Alright. Give everybody a couple more minutes. Well, I'll grab a piece of transfer tape and a few before we put on our decal, but for right now, I'm okay. I hope everybody's had a good week and has a good weekend. Get some rest if you need it. Take some time for yourself. It's always important. So, always remember, take time for yourself. I've learned that lesson over the last year or two. So, and I like these little measuring cups. I didn't put the list, I put this on y'all's list, but I really like these. We got these from Walmart, golly, probably a year ago. But what I like about them is like they have a pour spout. Ha! Lost my words. But they also have like several different measurements. Like this one is cups, this one is ounces, this one is tablespoons, this one's milliliters, this one's teaspoons. And so it has a lot of different measurements all in one cup. And like I said, it's got the pour spouts right here. So it's really nice to have on hand. I use this one a lot. And then this is a little funnel. Depending on what you plan on pouring your glycerin in with, you may need a funnel, you may not. With this bottle that's got the little tip on it, I don't need, I've got a piece of glitter in my glycerin mixture, oh well. I don't need really the funnel to put it in my tumbler, but if you don't have one of those, you will need a funnel or something like that to put it in there. And this I got from Walmart. These I got from Amazon. They're just little squeeze bottles. This one is 4 ounces. Give everybody a few more minutes to join. Come back here. Let's see here. I am going to need to grab a piece of paper and some tape because I'll need that for my glitter. So, while we're waiting a few more minutes for people to join. Oh, somebody just came on. Oh, hello. Hello, Mom and Dad. Well, probably Mom, but Mom and Dad, you know. Grab a piece of paper and grab some tape. Grab a drink. As always, ignore my blank tumbler. That is my loaded tea tumbler. My other tumbler for my water changes probably every couple days. But it just shows one watching again. I'm not sure. Oh, now it's back up to 2. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. As always, we'll have this saved on my Facebook page. So if you don't see the little live in whatever corner it is, I think it's this one. Anyway, if you don't see that, hashtag replay when you ask your question. So I know it's a question that needs to be answered. That would be amazing. And, of course, ask any questions throughout. If you are here live with me, just let us know. Anthony is in here, going to help me with comments and things like that, so that way he can keep an eye on that and I can answer and pay attention to what I'm doing, because this kind of gets messy sometimes if you are not careful. But we're going to get started. So, alright, so decals, my decals are cut out on the Hyacinth glitter we have here at R&M. The files actually came from Creative Fabrica. Like I said, I posted all of that stuff. Ooh, don't knock it over. All that stuff in a post about 35, 40 minutes ago-ish now, with the link. We do have a code. If you would be ever so grateful to sign up with our link, we get a little bit back from that. So that would be amazing if you could help us out with that. So I have all of that cut out, and then I have my 20-ounce snow globe tumbler. This one's a 20-ounce. They have acrylic ones, they have glass ones, they have sublimatable ones now with like an acrylic sleeve you can put over them. This one's going to be a glass one today, but even the sublimation ones that have the acrylic sleeve you put back over, once you get the inside done with your sublimation and you seal it, all of these steps are going to be the same no matter which snow globe type you're working with. It's going to be the same thing. The only thing that might change is how much of a glycerin distilled water mix you need, depending on how big your tumbler is. So that may change, but as far as everything else, it's not going to be any different than what I'm doing today. Sorry guys, I forgot to turn my phone and my watch off. So that's what that is. Today am going to be using the Rave Party metallic dots from the glitter guide that we have here. I will tell you, if you are going to use glitter in a snow globe tumbler, please make sure it is chunky or dots or a chunky mix or something like that. Don't use a fine. The reason for that is the fine glitters will clump together in this mix and it won't be really pretty. You'll just have like clumps floating through your cup, and that's not pretty. We don't want that. So dots, shapes, chunky mix, just not fine or really even medium. I know there's medium in the chunky, but if it's medium with chunky, that's great. Medium by itself can still clump, so keep that in mind. Glycerin is from Walmart. Again, I mix it with distilled water. You can find a flow that you want to do. Some people like a faster flow, some people like a slower flow. Just depends on how you want your pieces to move inside your tumbler. I prefer a little more suspended slow flow, so that way whenever I shake it up, my stuff doesn't just go right back down to the bottom. So my mix, this is a 5-ounce cup here. I do 3 ounces of glycerin, 2 ounces of distilled water. I like it to have a little more slow flow. I know a lot of people do half and half. That's fine. Like I said, you can kind of play with it and get what you want as far as your mix. This is just my preferred mix. Totally okay to play with it. And then there are some already pre-mixed liquids out there. I know Two Moms Craft Shack has one. Adhesive Apothecary, I believe, is the other one that has one that's already mixed. You buy it, they send it to you. It's like in a jug thing, and you just pour it in. You don't have to mix it. Totally up to you. I just prefer this. It's at Walmart. I can run and pick it up. I don't have to wait on it to be here, and I just mix it and go forward. This little fun guy here, this is actually a snow globe plug mold. This is from Resin Rockers. They have the soft coat UV resin that you use for these. The reason you want a soft coat is because you can smush it down in this hole that's on the bottom of your snow globes, and it has some give and move to it. Whereas if it was hard resin, it's just going to be hard. If it don't fit, it doesn't fit. These are a little more pliable, a little more squishable, a little more movable to get them in. They sell them as a kit. They also sell just the mold, and they also sell just the UV resin. So if you buy the kit first, you don't have to continually buy the mold. You just buy the soft coat resin after that. So that's what I like to use for mine. Some snow globes do come with a plug. I have found that a lot of them don't fit. I don't know. They come with it, but they don't fit in there. They're usually too big. So one other thing I am going to mention today is I brought some of these from home. I might throw in a few of them. I might not. I don't know. We'll go with it. We'll see what we feel when we get there. But these are called clay pieces, and I get mine from Maple Street Supply. She has a ton of different ones. So this one is Rainbows of Hearts. This one is just a mix. It's called Mr. Price Clay Mix. It's just kind of a mix of all different kinds of things. And then these are just some ones that I already had sorted from the house. So I brought these because it has my flowers in it. See if y'all can kind of see, maybe if it'll focus for me. Nope. Started to, and then I moved. Well, maybe y'all can kind of see it. Nope, it doesn't want to. Anyway, you can kind of sort of see that it is flowers. Let's see if I can do this, make it focus on my hand. But this one is a flower mix. It's another mix that I got from her, and it's just got a bunch of different flowers. Oh, there it kind of went. There we go. It has a bunch of different flowers in it, different colors and things, so I thought that might be cute to add in here. And then these. This one also has some different flowers, and then this one also has butterflies. I don't know why it doesn't want to focus.
Well, it was like it was there.
Yeah, and then it goes away. But this one also has some butterflies that I might use. So, again, just another option. You don't have to have these. You don't have to use these. And if anybody's wondering about these cases, I got these on Amazon. They're actually cases for diamond dots. I find them very handy for my clays. So, set that to the side for now. Alright, so what we're going to do first, and this is another technique. Some people do it this way, some people do it differently. Again, what I teach y'all is the way that I have found easiest for me. I like to do a back and forth whenever I mix mine. So I put in some glitter. I kind of get it how I think I want to see what it looks like. Then I pour in about half of my glycerin mix, and then I'll mix it all up. Just cover the plug, mix it and shake it. If I think I need more glitter, I'll put more glitter, put more glycerin mix, shake it. That is my method. Some people think that's crazy. You can't get all the air out of the glitter. I haven't had a problem. So you find what's best that works for you. Not everybody is the same. Totally get that. Totally fine. I think the world would be boring if we were all the same. So you find the best way that works for you. I'm going to give you the basics of how I do it, and then you can play around with it, but at least you have a starting point. So, what I do, since I'm just using the same thing in mine, I'm just going to pour it straight out of the bottle. If you wanted to mix a couple of chunky colors or chunky in a shape or something like that, just grab a little paper cup, mix it up in there, and then pour it out of that. That's fine. I will say, for me personally, I can't always just get it right into the hole. So I take a piece of paper and I tape it around. So I'm just going to kind of fold about 1/3 of this back. I score it with my nails. Gives me a cleaner tear. And then I kind of tape it. It's about, I don't know, ignore my hands. They're so dry, guys. Our weather is crazy here. Sorry. But I kind of put it down a little bit. I don't go crazy high because then you're having to deal with Lego. Then you're having to deal with the glitter, being like super high when you're trying to pour it in. It would make a mess. You do want to get it kind of tight to where your glitter doesn't go, a lot of it doesn't go down in the side of the paper. And then just tape it around. So, that's what we want. That right there is what we're going for. So I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to get this step done, and then we'll go to the next step. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and just set all this stuff over here. I'm probably going to have to mix some more glycerin mix because I only have 4 ounces in here. And this will take 5 to 6. And it's not really a good... There's not like a definite this will take 4.5 ounces or this will take 6 ounces or this will... It all depends on how much glitter and other things you put in. I wasn't able to get all my stuff together in time. Okay, that's fine. If you want to just follow along, that is totally okay. If you want to watch me later, that's fine too. We'll have it up here for replay, and you can ask questions at a later time. Totally fine, not a problem. And you can follow along while I keep going. If you need to finish getting some things together and then catch up as we go, that's okay too. Not a problem. So, give everybody another minute and give them a chance to get their snow globe paper taped. Just get it nice and taped up there. I'm going to put one more piece of tape up here where they meet. Just because it's kind of flapping and I don't like the flapping. There we go. Make it a little more solid. And grab a drink while everybody takes another minute to get together. And I like this cup holder, cup carrier, cup cradle. I don't know, fancy word. It holds my cup. Because it is soft, it's silicone, so when I'm using glass, I like to use this one. They have them on Amazon. A lot of times you can find them in a 2-pack or whatever. The little weird hole looking things in here actually is to hold your squeegee. If you have this kind of squeegee that's got the double bump, that's actually kind of where that goes. Anyway, I don't know why, but I've never had it hold my squeegee, just my cup. And it's also got there's an angled this way, it's angled. If you go across this way, it's straight. So, another handy tool.
Multifunctional.
Yes, multifunctional, multi-directional, whatever you want to call it. I love it. So, all right, is everybody ready? Okay. What we're we're going to go ahead and move to getting the glitter in here. So I'm going to open up my Ray Party Dots. I'm actually going to grab another piece of paper. Just in case we have some foliage. I can just put it right back in my bottle or put it in the cup, whatever. Woo. Already have some foliage just by taking off the lid. Okay. You can do this a couple of different ways. Some people fill up the bottom and then just smush them in. Some people try to pour it as directly in as possible. That's typically what I try to do. So I try to get it poured in, and this is a short bottle, so. It will kind of get stopped. Like once it gets that little hole there filled, it will tend to stop. And then you just shake it around. Smoosh them in there. Sometimes it's hard to tell which ones are on the outside, which ones are on the inside. Just feel for them. Get it in there. Shake it around. A little cavity.
It's weird because it looks like you're not getting like most of it in there, but it's hard.
Yeah, it does kind of look like
top.
you're not getting much in there, but you can see that we've got quite a bit already going in there.
And all that's at the top there.
Yeah. So you are gonna have some that's in the paper. I mean, it's gonna go in there regardless. But can you imagine what our workspace would look like if we didn't have this paper on here? Like all this would be all over your table. No thanks. So I'm gonna keep adding some more. Shake. Add some more. Shake. And how much glitter you have is again another personal kind of preference thing. Some people like a lot of glitter. Some people like just enough to add sparkle. All personal preference. This is a definite you do you boo cup.
Now, depending on the amount of glitter, would that change the amount of solution you need?
Yes, the more glitter, less solution. Yep, that is correct. I keep trying to rake some of these blue dots in, and they're actually inside. I'm like, that's not moving.
That's what I thought you were doing. I was like, I don't see anything going in. But
yeah. There are some that's out there, but okay. All right. So I'm gonna kind of take and empty out, plugging my hole, kind of emptying out my paper. But okay, so you can kind of see about how much I have in here. So I'm going to run with this for a minute. I'm going to keep it at this level. I'm going to add some solution in. I know it's kind of hard to tell. This is probably like an inch and maybe a hair over of glitter in the bottom right now. It doesn't have to be exact. You don't have to break out your measuring tape or nothing, but you know, just about to there is kind of a good starting point. So I will let y'all kind of get caught up with me to that point, and then we'll add some solution.
Now, question. Say they wanted to fill the whole entire thing up with glitter. Would you still have room for solution?
No, if you want to fill up the whole thing with glitter, then you would just fill it up with glitter and seal the bottom. You really wouldn't want to put solution in there. It would be kind of a waste of solution because it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to suspend and move and anything like that.
So if you want it to move, it's not recommended to fill it all the way up.
No, not with glitter, no. Okay. And some people fill these with rhinestones too, and those are really pretty. just keep in mind when you fill it with rhinestones that you aren't going to get all of the rhinestones where the faces are out. So you're going to have some that are backwards, so you'll see the back. So keep that in mind whenever you're choosing a rhinestone, that you will see the back and the front of the rhinestone. So you don't want like just a silver backing and you've got like this really pretty front. So keep that in mind if you plan on doing a rhinestone with it. But a lot of people do fill them with rhinestones too. So, or you can get the, oh gosh, I just lost the word. Resin rhinestones, and they're the same no matter what, because it's resin instead of like a backed rhinestone with a clear cover or anything like that. So, just keep that in mind too. All right. Okay, is everybody that's on here with me ready to move to the next step, or we still need a little bit of time? Just drop me a comment and let me know. Anthony, can you plug up and turn on my fan? It's a little warm.
Yes, I can. Although not having those ring lights helps with the heat. For sure.
Yes, not having the ring lights definitely helped with the heat. We changed up my lighting yesterday. I have these really cool overhead LED, like 4-foot strip lights, and that's actually all that is on right now. Is just those. I don't have any overhead lights. My ring lights are gone. I didn't like the weird reflection it gave last week in my shadow box live, so we're trying to figure out something different. Oh yes.
1 or 2.
What is that on right now?
It's on 2.
Yeah, let's leave it at 2 for right now.
And it's right on you. You're good.
Yes, I'm good. That feels great. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Mom says yes, ready. Okay.
Well,
all right.
She said yes, ready to the last.
Oh, okay.
There she is.
What was the ounces of water and glycerin? Okay. So what I have for mine, I have 3 ounces of glycerin, and then fill up to the 5, which is 2 ounces of distilled water. That is what I have been doing, and that's what I like to do. So if you need to get that mixed, go ahead and get that mixed up, and then just let me know when you're ready, and then we'll proceed.
Another quick question.
Yeah.
I've heard some people just in the store and whatnot asking about the Elmer's glue.
Elmer's glue does have a magic liquid. It's going to give you a slower flow than the glycerin. I have a bottle at home that I did buy. I have not tried it yet, but I do know that it is thicker than the glycerin, so it's a slower flow. Some people say they don't put any distilled water in it, but to me, I think your glitter would just stay in place because it is pretty thick. I also have heard the larger bottles, they have big bottles and then they have smaller bottles. I have heard that the larger bottles, for whatever reason, because it's supposed to be the same liquid in all of them, are a thicker consistency than the smaller ones. They say the smaller ones are thinner. So keep that in mind too whenever you're buying. I have heard that from a lot of people. You would think that it would be the same, should all be the same product in different size bottles. But a lot of people say the big bottles are a lot thicker than the small bottles. But yes, the magic liquid is another thing that is out there that people have started using. I did buy some. I have not used it yet, so I can't speak from personal, but I can speak from a lot of posts and things that I've seen. So, okay. Mom, is that an okay? We're ready to go? Let's see. One more quick drink while we're...
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So like I said, I already have mine mixed. You'll probably have to see me mix some more in a minute because I don't think this is going to be enough for the snow globe. But my mixture is in here. Give it a quick shake. Make sure it's all mixed up in this bottle. Okay. Now, I will say I find this easier when adding my glycerin. I will take the whole, and that will be the side that I lift up. Okay. Not so much whenever you're doing your first one, it doesn't really matter, but whenever you're starting to get to the top, you really need to have this hole up so that it works the air up towards that hole. You want a little air bubble at the end, but you don't want a huge one, okay? So I'm going to take the point of my thing, kind of get it in here, and we're just going to start adding our glycerin in, our glycerin mix. So I'm going to get it to where it's about, well, my paper's going to get wet. I'm going to have to change my paper. Oh well. I'm going to add it to where it's about halfway up the cup. Take a look at that. Try not to get glitter in my glycerin mix whenever I do the little, and it sometimes happens. There's a piece in there right now. Okay, that's about where I want it. I'm going to go ahead and take off my paper funnel. For one, I just got it wet, so the glitter is just going to stick to it in a second. Two, I really need to be able to hold that, close that hole whenever I mix it up.
Paper towels, a wonderful creation.
Yes. Love paper towels. All right, where did my, there it is.
Paper towels and Clorox wipes are your best friend.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Whoop. Okay. We're just gonna, yeah, see? My glycerin ran out into my paper, so. Okay. So I'm gonna take and I'm gonna wipe this off right quick, because I don't want it to be slippery whenever I'm trying to mix. Yeah, that's okay. We're crafting. We're okay. All right. Plug the hole with your finger and shake. Okay? You'll see that it gets kind of thick. And kind of toss it, turn it, shake it, because you want to get all of this glitter mixed in with this glycerin mix right now. We don't want to have a bunch of glitter with no glycerin mix sitting at the top of our cup, because that is going to make it all the harder when we pour more glitter in to get it mixed up. I am going to go ahead and add a little bit more of my glycerin mix because it's not really wanting to mix right now because it's kind of thick. So I'm going to add a little more. Again, wipe that drip off. Plug the hole and shake. And kind of move it around. Okay, there we go. Now the glitter at the top's starting to break up. Okay, so see how it's breaking up now around the top? That's what we want to see. We don't want just a bunch of glitter in clumps just completely covering the top. All right. This is a very, 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 very important step. Do not skip this step and do not skimp on this step. Make sure all of your glitter is moving before you move on. I cannot express that more. And that's why I think a lot of people don't like adding the glitter first, is because they don't get it mixed up enough, and then they just have a band of glitter that won't move after they completely fill it. Make sure that your liquid is in all the spaces all the way to the top, and your glitter is moving all around. Okay. All right, so let me know. I've got dots everywhere.
Okay, correct.
Yep. Okay, so let me know when you're ready, and we'll move to the next step, which is going to be adding more glitter.
That'd be a really great shirt or sign. It's okay, I'm crafting.
Right? Yeah. Mess? Ah, it's okay. I'm crafting. No problem. Yeah. I think I want some more glitter. Let's see, while we're waiting, I'm going to take a look at some of these guys. So I think I am going to add some flowers. It's spring. We have to have flowers. Alright, let's see. There's a good mix of flowers and some butterflies. Those two lids. There we go. I think I like those flowers and those butterflies. Whoop! Don't shake too hard. I poured my butterflies out. I thought one went flying, but I don't see it. Okay, that's okay. Not a big deal.
So I can tell once the
Yeah, on all the dots. It's hard to see with all the other glitter dots.
And then all the in your floor cake. All the glitter.
Yeah, we kind of got glitter on the floor whenever I was redoing this this room to be my new video room.
Okay.
Making the craft wall behind me. Yeah, you know, I have lots more glitter to put on there. I'm just waiting for more glitter holders. So, alright. Mama, I think you're the only one following along with me, so let me know when we are ready to move on. Don't want anybody to feel rushed. So, I want you to let me know when you're ready. Bum, 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 bum. I love snow globe cups because of all the movement. I will confess that I tend to not drink out of them because I think I would spill my drink from making them move. Because I like to see them move around. They're pretty. They are pretty. There we go. This project does take a lot of paper towels and Clorox wipes. That's okay. It's okay. Alright. I think I put too much glitter in first. Well, just go ahead and add some more of the liquid, Mom. Just add some more of your liquid in and shake it up again. It does take a little bit to get it all moving around if you put a lot of glitter in it, but my suggestion is add some more liquid and then mix her up again. Not a problem. I'm going to go ahead and tear off another piece of paper. I have seen lately that they have these really cool looking like silicone bands that you can put around your cup. And that keeps your glitter and stuff in. I haven't bought any of those, but I saw it the other day and I was like, hey, really cool. And they're washable. You can just wash them off. You don't have to throw it away. So it's a waste-less thing. So, I thought that was a pretty neat idea.
If there wasn't a copyright issue, we'd be jamming out.
Yes. I would definitely have music on if Facebook wouldn't shut me off for it. But, you know, I kind of like my lives to stay there, not get shut off. But, and I think that's why, you know, a lot of people do things on TikTok because they allow music. It's not an issue. Although I think some people are kind of starting to think it's an issue. But I like the fact you can have music playing. I usually like music playing when I'm crafting. Usually I have Pink blaring. And I am singing and dancing along and crafting, but can't have that on lives. Alright, Mama, how's it going? How we doing? Good. Okay, ready. Alright. Okay. So I've put my little paper back around my cut bottom here. I'm going to add some of my clays in. Mom, you can go ahead and start adding more glitter in if you think you need more glitter. If you don't, if you think you added enough on that first round, you can finish it off with the liquid. If you want to wait just a second, I can go through that with you. I'm going to add some of these clay butterflies in here. Kind of get them down in there, get them moving around. Alright, little butterflies, I don't want y'all to get lost in my paper sides here. Okay. Add some more. This part gets a little bit more difficult when adding stuff, only because now we've got that like sticky, like greasy-ish liquid mix in, and so everything's wanting to stay at the top. So you have to kind of do some good shaking to get it to go down in there now. Sometimes, depending on what you're adding, you may want to take like your weeding pick if you have one, and kind of poke them down and move them around. But the second time you add stuff will be a little more challenging because of that liquid. So just keep that in mind. Just a few more butterflies, and then I'm going to add some flowers. Add those. Alright, let's add some flowers in here. Sorry if you can hear the noise of me shaking it. Just gotta make sure to get these in there. Oh no, flowers, come back. No, no. No losses in the cracks. No, no. See if I can get that one. And then pull the little blue one back. Come back. There we go. Okay. I'm going to add a few more flowers, and then I'm going to go back to glitter. Come on, go down in there. Make sure that all of those that I see at the top, yep, they're all inside. Okay. Alright, so here we go again. I'm going to add some careful glitter here. Block the fan, sorry. here. It does get a little harder to see with your paper on it how much glitter you've got in there. And this second round is really kind of just adding personal preference wise what you want, how much glitter you want in here, how much other stuff you want in here. All up to you on that part. Give it a mix here, just kind of swirling it around like a little tornado. Kind of see if we can get a feel for how much glitter we've got going on in here. How much we got left. At least these are clear, the glass ones, and so you can kind of see what it looks like up in there. I'm going to add a little bit more. Shake, get all that to go down. Let's see, kind of looking up in here. I think I'm getting really pretty close to where I want it to be. I'm going to add just a little bit more glitter. For personal preference here. Push it over that hole, then shake. Push it over the hole, kind of fill it up again, and then shake. Just a few more flowers. Oh, nope, not those, these. And then maybe a few more butterflies. And then we're going to call it good and add the remainder, or fill up the remainder with our liquid. Okay. All right, Mom, how's it going? Take off my paper funnel again because I am done. With this part. Usually I use a folder as my catcher, glitter catcher, but with this cup, as you can see, I've already got glycerin on my paper down here, and I had glycerin on my other paper. I don't really want glycerin on my folders that I like to use all the time because it kind of just leaves an oily mess behind, and I don't want it to mess up my folders. So I've got static electricity today. Alright, I'll clean up the rest of this mess in a little bit, but for now, we're gonna roll with that. Alright. And again, I'm gonna cover that hole up, and we're gonna kind of shake some of this glitter and all that we just added around in here. That way we've got room to add the rest of our glycerin mix that we need to finish filling up this cup. Kind of get our liquid going back around our rim again. There it goes. It's starting to break up again. Yeah. Alright. Okay, Mom, let me know. I'll give you a few more minutes to kind of get your glitter in there where you want. Let me know when you're ready to move to adding the rest of the glycerin. I'm going to go ahead and grab my Clorox wipes for this, or disinfectant wipes. I don't know, whatever, name brands. Anyway, disinfectant wipes. And I forgot to list that you will need UV resin. But you will need UV resin. And a UV light. For after we get this filled up, that's our next step for our plug.
And you said I have to put it about half of the jar.
Of glitter, is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have like a little over half left, so if you've got half in there, I think that's a great stopping point. Just kind of mix it up, get it all shook around. Perfect fit. And I forgot to mention, this mold, the plug mold has big ones and small ones. So the two inside rows are small plugs, and the two outside rows are larger plugs. So that's another nice thing about that. And this one is going to be one of the larger, the larger ones that we take for this cup. This Raid Party glitter is so pretty. Let me know when you're ready to move forward, Mom. Okay, ready. Perfect. All right. So now, as I was saying a while ago, this is where it's really important to tilt your cup with the hole up when you're adding this glycerin. That way it fills the glycerin and allows your air bubble to come to your opening. I will not fill it completely full. And then I will mix it again. So, while I've got it sitting kind of sideways, it kind of goes to right about here. It's really hard to see right now, but it kind of goes to right about here for reference. And then I'm going to hold this, plug this hole with my finger, and wipe it off actually because it got some glycerin on the outside. I'm going to plug it again, and we're going to shake it again. All that glitter in there moving around and mixed with what glycerin we have in here while we still have a pretty good sized air bubble. If you don't do these steps, and once your glitter actually starts moving and flowing, you're going to see a huge air gap in your cup, and you don't want that. See, so we turn it this way, see, it's all the way down to here. So if we were to just finish filling that up and topping that off, we would have a massive air gap whenever we turned our cup right side up. So always, always, always important to alternate and move and shake and make sure that all of that glitter that settles at the top when you're pouring it in is moving and has space around it and is flowing with the rest of your glitter and liquid mixture. See? Can y'all see how? Let me go this way with it. Can you see how we have the air gap up here? It's not solid glitter. We want that glitter to be moving as we move our cup. Get back in there, flower. You're not allowed out. Okay. So now it's just all about making sure everything's moving and finishing filling it up. Okay. So on this final fill, this is the most important time to tilt your cup and keep this air hole or this hole at the top. Fill. You'll see it rising up. Sorry, I know clear liquid rising is kind of hard to capture on a camera. You'll be able to see it. And it'll kind of start coming back out at you, okay? That's where I'll stop. I'll plug the hole again and give it a good shake one more time, trying to get all that air that's trapped in here up to the top. So again, we feel it till it starts bubbling up at us. Plug the hole with our finger and a good shake. Give it a good shake. Turn it upside down, or right side up technically. Upside down from how we've been doing it, but turn it up, see if everything's still moving, see what kind of air gap we got going on. Turn it back, shake some more. Getting pretty good. And like I said, you want a small air bubble. You don't want a giant air bubble. Small air bubble allows for movement. Giant air bubble makes your cup look half empty. I'm going to try to see if I can kind of show y'all my air bubble here. Just want to make sure that I've got it all good and mixed up and we don't have any more trapped air. And a lot of people do what?
No, I was just going to say a quick question.
Yeah.
No air bubble is bad.
No air bubble, it doesn't really move much because you don't have an air pocket to be able to move through your cup, allowing the movement and the flow. So you do want some air bubble, not huge and not none.
but no air bubble wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, depending on kind of what you're trying to go for.
Yeah, depending on what kind of movement you're going for, yeah. I mean, it might be okay to have a no air bubble. But I want an air bubble to have movement in my cup. Oh, wrong one. Right next to it. Come on. There we go. I'm taking my weeding pick and I'm kind of going to move this around because we kind of have a clump right here at the opening. And it's not allowing my air bubble to kind of move where I need it to be over here. So I'm just going to take my weeding pick and just kind of move that glitter and all around. There we go. Because now you can see I've got an air bubble. Well, I can see. Let's see if I can get it on the camera here. I've got an air bubble that kind of has like a gathering right here. You can kind of see where it's not as shiny. You can kind of see where it kind of fades, looks a little more matte in that area. That's where the air bubble is. To me, that's a little bit too big. I mean, just a little bit too big. So we're going to take and put our glycerin back in here. And it's going to want to shoot out like it is right now. It's going to want to shoot out. You have to kind of work it around in there. Get that air bubble to come back up. And I think this is the hardest part of what everybody fusses with these snow globes is this final fill and getting this air bubble in here. Some people I've seen have even taken like syringes and have put the syringe through here and sucked that air out with a little syringe just to get this flowing back in there because it can be cranky. Like mine is just sitting right here in the hole and I can see right over here it's all empty. Give it a shake, see if we can't get it moving around. Because I need that gap to come back over here. I don't have a syringe, or I would try that technique. My air bubble does not want to come back over here. Alright, let's see. I'm just going to kind of plug that up and give it a shake. Yeah, see, it's too much of an air bubble. Come on, air bubble. Work with me here. Oh. There we go. There we go. Let it just shake back around and move to where I needed it. Try that again, and we're going to smush some of it out. But again, this is not a clean process cup. It's not.
It's
If you don't like messy cups, don't do this one.
Definitely a process, though.
Yes, it is a process, for sure.
What we know about processes, we just gotta trust it.
Yeah, trust the process. Okay. That is not a bad sized air bubble, so I think we're gonna stay with that. See if I can kind of get my air bubble to move. You can kind of see it right
so
there.
Hard to capture on camera. Oh,
It is.
There it is.
You can kind
I
of see
can
it right there. You can see a little air bubble. That's about the size air bubble we want. We don't want a huge one. We don't want none unless you don't want a lot of movement. That's the size air bubble we want right there. Try to get it back in camera. Come on. There we go. You can see it right there again. Okay. Right there. So once we're there, let me know. How's it going, Mom? See, I ended up not having to mix anymore. I still have a little over an ounce left. So it all depends on how much glitter you put in there. Oop. Put that back over there. A cap back on here. Just make sure it snaps. All those fun things out of the way. Get the glitter out of my funnel. There we go. I will clean all of that up when I'm done. Well, I'll clean this up when I'm done. I'll clean this with my Clorox wipe in just a second. But alright, Mom, how's it going? How are you doing? Clean off my hands. We don't want greasy hands when we go to do our UV resin. Greasy hands, greasy cup, or slick cup doesn't make for a good seal with our UV resin over our plug. So you want to make sure that everything is nice and clean, nice and dry, not slick. Wipe off the outside of this with this Clorox wipe here. Disinfectant wipe, whatever. I say Clorox wipe just because that's the brand everybody typically knows, but as you can see, I don't buy the Clorox brand. It's Walmart. Let's see. Alright. Looks like Mama's still working. Try not to scrape over the hole because you don't want the chemicals or the soap or the moisture from this to go in your mix. You just want to clean off around it to where it's not a greasy slick mess. Set that over there so it doesn't get messed up. Grab me another paper towel. Oh. Or pizza. Let's see. We're going to dry that off. There we go. Alright. Dry that off before I put that in here. How we going? Let me know where you're at, Mama. You go ahead and actually clean this up while we're waiting. Otherwise, this is gonna drive me nuts. Anybody that knows me knows that. I know crafting is messy, but staying a mess, not for me.
But it doesn't have to stay a mess.
Yeah. No, no. And this is why I usually use folders, because glitter coming off of silicone mats, not the easiest process.
Glitter coming off of anything.
That's true too. Alright, let's see here. I'm going to move this over here for a minute because I don't want my vinyl to get wet. Kind of feels like you're not moving anything. No, moving something because it's all on the rag or the wipe, but it sure don't look like it.
How can I tell how much water is in my glue?
Telling how much water or how much more mixture you might need is really just going to be shaking it up really good to get all of that air in one place and seeing how big your bubble is. And then you can also take and just turn it the other way up and see how much space, make sure you keep that plugged, just see how much space you have in the top of your snow globe when your air is up there. You're going to have some. There's no way really getting around that. You need some, but you don't want it to where it's so empty all the way down, here. So the goal is to just shake it really good, get all that air in one place, and then kind of follow your bubble. See where it goes and see how much of a gap it leaves you at the top. You want a small bubble. You don't want a big bubble. Just mix, mix, mix. Oh, there's my towel. Like I thought I just had one. Yep, I did. Plug. I just threw my plug across the room. It caught my paper towel. And it's clear, so. We may find it after the live. Yep, we'll just find it after the live. I'll have another one. It's already made. And if you don't have one made, nice thing is it's UV resin. Doesn't take that long to make one. Hoping maybe a little bit more would move around if it was dry, but yeah, no such luck either. It's better than what it was. I will shake it off when we're done. Did that help, Mom? Shaking it around, was that able to help you figure out how much more you need or how much you have, or?
There's no telling where the thing went.
Yeah, because it caught my paper towel when I went this way and it went, bloop. I saw it go, but I don't know. I don't know where. We'll find it. Let's see. I'll just grab another one. Let's see. That one's a small one. That one's a small one. Well, I do have more, but they are small. That's okay. You could stand and make one then. Here we go. Alright, so what you do, kind of like doing anything else UV resin, if you've ever done anything UV resin, take your soft coat that comes with this mold and you just pour it down in here. It doesn't take a lot, so you got to keep an eye on it. I start in my center and then slowly add, filling around that little ledge. Because it does have like an indent for the ledge that sticks over the outside of the hole. That way you get a seal when you put your hard coat UV resin on it. You get a seal around the plug. Keep an eye out for air bubbles. You don't want air bubbles. You do want to make sure you get it all the way around the edge, because that edge is what helps you seal this in. Let's see, I can see there, I didn't get all the way to the edge. Sorry, I know y'all probably see in the top of my head right this second, but I gotta make sure that I get all the way around and out to the edges of the plug. You're going to try not to overfill, but you don't want to underfill either. So just slowly fill it. And then I kind of circle the edge and push out towards the edge with the tip of the bottle. Ooh, big air bubble, we don't want that. Fill the center out to the edge. Move it around. All of my big ones are filled. I have quite a few small ones still, so I'm just going to do the big ones. Uh-oh. Hang on. There. Nope. Uh-oh. Something's going on with my cord. Weird. Okay. I have plenty of the small ones, so I don't want any small ones. I just want the big ones. So I just got the mold up under my light for the big ones filled. I will do, this is a 120 seconds. I'll do 120 seconds on the top, and then I will flip the entire mold over, and I will do 120 seconds on the bottom. This is a clear mold. It does have like that white kind of color to it. But it is safe for UV resin because the UV light can actually go through the entire mold, both top and bottom, to cure what you have in there. So 120 seconds on the top, flip it over, 120 seconds on the bottom, and then you're good to go. It looks like it looks like the other globes. I think I have a big bubble, and I still have 4 ounces of water. Okay, so you got to make sure and get it shook up. If you need to, Mom, you can take and put your plug in the hole. Don't resin it in there or anything. Just put your plug in there. That way you've got a little more of a plug, a little more of a closure. And shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. And then whenever you've got your air bubble all the way to the top, tilt and pour your glycerin in. The main thing is making sure that your air bubble is right at your hole, so that when you put more glycerin in, it goes in instead of just bubbling back out. So it's a lot of shaking. Shake, 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 shake. To get all that air in one place. If it's that big of an air bubble, then it should be pretty easy to get the air bubble back up to around the hole to where you can fill it in. Okay, that stopped. So, see, top is cured. I'm going to flip the mold over. Here's the holes. Flip it over. Back for 120 seconds. Because I ended up using 3 ounces of water in mine, Mom. Because I started out, it was 4 ounces, and right now, here's an ounce, and you can see we have just a little bit over, but not quite a half. It's probably an ounce and a quarter is what I have left of the 4 ounces I started with. So I used almost 3 ounces. So if you mixed up 5, you have 4 left. I know that you put more glitter in than I did, but if you have a pretty big air bubble still, I think we need to mix, mix, mix and get more liquid in there. Get that air bubble to the top and fill in more liquid. Oh man, have it kind of going and then just stuck to the top. Alright, saw my light go off, so got glitter dots on the bottom of our mold here. Wipe those off. Alright, kind of fill of them. Yep, they feel like they're good and cured to me. They're not sticky or anything like that. So I kind of take and I'll squish my mold side to side or bend it, you know, side to side, front to back, all that fun stuff. And then you just pull them out. You can see, well, I can see, I'm going to try to see if I can get a good, you can see how they're bendy. That's what you want. That's why the soft coat is what you want to use in this mold. It gives you that soft, flexible seal to be able to fit into your snow globes. I'll leave one out. The rest of them in the bag with my others. Overfilled that one a little bit because you can see where it's got a little bitty thin flap of the soft coat resin right there, but it's not going to matter by the time we plug our dill up and use our regular hard coat resin. It's not going to matter. You won't even see it. Is that getting better, Mom? Yeah, it's still getting what's warm in here, I think, with the store closed. So.
It's 81 in here right now.
Yeah, the thermostat, thermometer. That thing over there says it's 81.1 in here right now. It's a little warm.
The fans help.
The fans did help a lot.
But I think it'd be good whenever you're doing like boxing and stuff. So.
Yes, yeah, for sure. We may have to find a way to get some ventilation while we're in here, but still be able to store phone.
It's actually my phone.
Oh, you have the same ringer?
Well, that was my timer.
Oh, gotcha. Alarm or something?
Yeah, it was my timer.
Okay. Let me know how it's going, Mom. Still picking at all these dots off my table. Typically, I would try to save all of my extra glitter. The only reason I'm not trying to save these is because of the glycerin mix that we're working with, and if they got glycerin on these whenever I was shaking around or whatnot,
And that would get into your other glitter.
yeah, it would make my glitter bottle kind of a sticky mess.
Yeah. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Mom, if you can, let me know how it's going.
You need a stopper.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I already made the whole set of the big ones, and the rest of my big ones are in here. I've got my big one right there for right now. Yay! All my dots are off my mat. Oh, one snuck back on. No, thank you. We are actually almost done with this process. Because our main thing now, we're going to plug it, UV resin cure, and then after that it's just applying our decals. So we are almost done. Alright, Mom, I'm going to go ahead and move forward. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll get them answered. Okay, so for our plug, this is the plug I made. You can kind of see how it's got this little ridge around the plug itself. Kind of, sort of, ish. You can kind of see I'm trying to get it to focus. You can kind of see it's got a ridge. You can kind of see it better there. And that is the outside top of it, and then this inside knob is what goes into your cup. So you want to put it in the hole and just push it in place. Try not to like too much smush because you don't want that liquid to come up out of the cup underneath it, because then we won't get a good seal with our UV resin.
You said it's moving around, but how do I tell where the bubble is?
When you shake it really good, kind of get it. I kind of go sideways with my cup. That way all the air and the bubble kind of goes into one place. And then you can kind of see how big your bubble is in your cup. But you'll have to shake it and then kind of slowly kind of move it around and get your bubble on the side of your cup, kind of like I did a while ago. That's going to be the easiest way. Okay. I'm going to sit this on there because it's kind of sticky. I think my UV resin kind of leaked out some. But, alright, so I've got my plug in place. You can kind of tell it's a little like indented in around that plug area. So what I do is I take my UV resin and I kind of fill the gap around that plug. This is where it's kind of hard to know exactly where everything is. You have a clear cup, you have clear UV resin, you have a clear plug, which is great because the plug doesn't stick out in the bottom of your cup. You actually see your glitter. But it's a little more complicated when you're trying to seal it to know where it's at. So, I'll get a good coat around that, and then I will seal this. I'm going to have to figure out what's going on with this cord, but I'm going to seal this on here. And then after I get this sealed, then I'll worry about filling in the rest of that kind of concaved area at the bottom of my cup to seal in everything. But I get this area sealed first. Oh, come on. Oh, this cord must be having a short or something. Let me grab another cord, guys. Hang on.
I'm sure we got another one right here.
Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, that's nice. Somebody. Okay.
Next one.
Yep. Next. Alright, let's try this. Sorry, guys. You know, lives get interesting. Because it's life. Things happen. There we go. Alright. We were gonna set that cord to the side. Oh no. Darn it, that's what I was afraid of. Shoot. Okay, while I was messing with my cord, there's a bubble right here of liquid. So some of the liquid came out of my cup, out from underneath that plug while I was messing with my cord before it got cured. So some of my UV resin is cured. It is okay. I'm just going to wipe away that liquid. We're going to smoosh out the liquid out from under the resin. I'm going to apply just a little bit of resin. Nope, it is still coming out. Hang on, guys. Since it's not completely cured, I'm going to pull it off. I'm going to pull my plug off of it. If you have to do this, make sure and wash your hands off. Get any UV resin off before you turn the light back on, because if it's on your hands, it will cure on your hands.
Yeah,
and trust me,
stay there.
it hurts. I did it one time, not even realizing I had UV resin on my hands for a project I was working on. I went outside, and after just like a minute, I was like, wow, what is wrong with my hand? I had UV resin on my hand and didn't even know it. And so it was curing on my hand. Not a pleasant feel. It stayed for a bit. It took a while for that piece of skin to heal. So don't do that. Alright. Make sure I've got all of that off my fingers, my hands.
Fingernails, hands.
Yeah, everything. Wipe all that off. Okay. Okay, wipe any glycerin off of here. Don't want any glycerin left. Okay. Alright, well, let's dry my plug off because it's still got stuff from the disinfectant wipe on it. Okay. Alright. Here we go again. I'm going to put the plug in. Maybe. Still kind of sticky. Oh, I've already got it leaking, so let's see if I can dry up a little bit of that moisture right here where I'm putting my plug in. Just going to dry up some with my paper towel. See, I put my paper towel in there, dried up some of it to give me a little bit of an air gap to put this plug in and not push my solution back out. Okay, there we go. You do have to be quick with this to seal it or to cure it before any liquid starts pushing its way out, which was my problem because my light wasn't working right, so that liquid started pushing its way out underneath my uncured UV resin. And I'm doing this for 120 seconds. Mom, how's it going? Nice and cured on there. Okay, now that we have that initial seal and it's got that plug sealed in, it's got the glycerin mixture sealed in with all of our glitter. Now what I do is I just kind of take and just go right inside this bottom rim and fill it in, because if not, you can kind of see where you're gonna have a bubble up at the bottom, and we don't want that. Our cup would wobble. So I just kind of take and I go right around that rim or that plug, the area we just did again. And then I just kind of make like a half circle, and I go all the way out just to this rim, If you have an acrylic one, the acrylic ones kind of have a lip on them, and you just kind of fill in that bottom lip area after you get that initial seal on the plug. These have a slight lip, but not as much as the acrylic ones. Make sure you don't go over the edge, but make sure you get to the edge. And then I take, grab my silicone stir stick. I take my silicone stir stick and just kind of look around it. Make sure that it's level, that it's to the edge. All the way around. The main part I worry about being level is right around our initial plug. Just kind of take and pull and push the UV resin right up to it to make sure it's all nice and flat across there. Just takes a little finesse. The nice thing about the UV resin is it is self-leveling. I have a hair on my stir stick, we don't want that. So usually if you just give it a minute, you'll be able to tell that it's leveling out, and you'll be able to see if there's any spaces that you need some more UV resin in. And some of these glass ones too, they have like a bigger inset area for your original or your initial plug. And if it's not raised, you don't even have to do this second one as long as you know you've got a good seal on that initial resin coat. Not sure what I did, but I made a mess on my UV resin cap. Okay, so now it looks like it's good. It looks like it's all level. Looks like it's to the edges. Well, hang on. This one right here is not all the way to the edge. Okay, let that flatten her level back out 1 second. And then I will cure it with my light. Alright. Nothing. Okay. And this round, with as much UV resin as we put, it may take 2 times of 120 seconds around. Just to make sure you get it completely cured. You don't want it to be sticky or anything like that. You want it to be completely cured and hardened for this step. Grab my decals, because that is going to be next. And then after decals are on, we're done. will say though, do not do this step until you know that your air bubble is as small as you need it. Taking off the UV resin can be done. You can heat it up and you can peel it off. But it's always better if you don't have to do that. Just make sure that it's sealed in the first time. Yeah, still kind of sticky. Just make sure that it's nice and sealed in the first time, then you don't have to worry about going back and doing that. Nice and full. Sorry, I said sealed. Nice and full before you seal it. One more round of 120 and then we should be good to go on the step. That out of the way. That can go over there. We will need this for our next step. I will have to grab a piece of transfer tape for our next step because I didn't grab that. You know, trying to be prepared. I was mostly prepared. Sometimes you try to think of all the steps that you're going to need, all the steps you do, all the things you need for each step, and you think you have everything, but of course, when you're live especially, there's no editing. You're here with me. Of course I'm going to forget something. It's okay. It's not like we're all perfect when we're sitting here doing this by ourselves and not live either. It is what it is. I actually kind of like it that way anyway. I mean, I am not perfect. I'm a normal person like everybody else. So in my mind, it's good for y'all to see that same as y'all, same as everybody. I may be teaching y'all, but that doesn't mean I'm perfect. And that is okay. Real life. I think we're going to be good to go after this round finishes. Alright. Yeah, not sticky anymore. A while ago y'all could like hear me going, yeah. We're not sticky anymore, so we're good to go. Alright. Yay!
No leakage.
Now we can turn and shake. We don't have anything spitting and sputtering flying out at us. No leaks. So, we know that we are good to go. So pretty. It's kind of weird how the dots kind of divided up. Like the top seems to be more purple and the bottom seems to be more orange. Kind of weird how that looks.
Nice mixture.
Once you keep shaking, it'll get it mixed up. But here we go. I like it. You can kind of see my flowers and stuff in here kind of mixed in. I didn't want them to be like in your face, so I like it that it's kind of blended in. There's some butterflies. So, alright. That is that step. I'm going to set that right there for a minute, and you can see my air bubble rose to the top there. I'm going to grab a piece of transfer tape. Make sure it's big enough for what I need. Maybe. If not, I'll grab another piece. We'll make it work. It'll be good. Okay. Let me grab my scissors. My daughter thinks I'm crazy when I call them scissors. I don't know, it's something I've always said, done, whatever. One of my flowers worked and one of my flowers didn't work, so I cut out some extras and a little bit thicker. I did a little offset on them, and so they're a little bit thicker, so. Bless you. Stay. Alright, if you'll go ahead and turn that fan off for right now, only because I don't need the fan blowing my decal around while I'm trying to put it on. We'll get this done. oops, well, it fell, and that's just where it's going to be, because if I try to pull it off, it's going to pull my stuff up. So it's all right. We will piece it and make it work. All right. I'm going to go ahead and move forward to the decaling and finish this live up. Mom, if you have any questions, let me know. And if you're still not done when we get off the live, just let me know. All right. Squeegee. Squeegee helps. My most important tip about transfer tape and vinyl, piece of vinyl anyway, squeegee on the front, squeegee on the back. It's kind of hard to get a good squeegee with the silicone mat, but when you're ready, pull the paper backing off instead of trying to make the transfer tape pull it up off the paper backing. Them two have been together since they're making, and they don't always like to come apart. So it's easier if you pull the backing away instead of trying to have the transfer tape pick it up off of there. I'm going to lightly just lay that back on there so that I can get it lined up. Let's see. Spring is here. Kind of gauge where it looks straight. Get that one edge stuck on, and then I'm going to remove my backing again. Since we just lightly placed it, it should come off fairly easy. And then we're just going to, well, the pieces that didn't have transfer tape want to stick. Well, we'll fix that in a second. Just going to go over it and rub it down into place all the way around. See if I can fix my G. The last little edge of my G wasn't on my transfer tape, and it kind of wrinkled right there at the end, but we will get that in just a second. Go ahead and rub it down with our fingers. A little curly Q wanted to lift, so I'm going to rub it a little bit more here. Oh, they the curlies. This is a permanent adhesive. You don't have to seal it, but you can if you want to. Some people do put resin on the outside and go ahead and seal it in with a 2-part epoxy, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. Totally up to you, but you don't have to. These cups shouldn't be washed in the dishwasher anyway. None of the cups really should. Even the stainless steel ones, it messes up the seal. So you really shouldn't be washing any of these in the dishwasher. But if you want to seal it in, just so you feel more comfortable, totally up to you. Use your 2-part epoxy. That is okay on this cup because it is for one, it's a glass cup, so it's not going to seep through. And 2, it's a double wall. So you've got the outside wall where we're putting this, you have the inside wall on the other side of your glitter. This does not want to come up. This is a really strong, it's already over here. This is a really strong adhesive. I love the glitter that we have because of that. It is super strong. I am literally just going to take and I'm going to cut right along that crease. I'm going to lift that crease up and I'm going to fold it down over the other piece there. Because I don't want to stretch out my entire letter and have to recut this G. So we're just going to cut it, lift it, flap it, fold it over. Done. There we go. Spring is here. Spring is here. Got my little curly cues on the bottom. We chose this purple. My mom and I were picking colors for this yesterday because the orange in this glitter really stood out more than the purple. So this purple looks really pretty. Okay, I'm gonna use this little one to pull one of these flowers off of here and stick it up here. That's where the other flower was, but whenever I cut it, one did great, the other one decided, nah, don't want to today. So, I cut out some extras. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my, I don't know, this is how I do it. I put my finger at the edge of my other decal, so that way I can lay it straight and know that I am on the other opposite, the correct opposite side of my decal. Because now I want to put this one on this side. And as far as in this one, like you could put an initial here, you could put a name here, you could even like duplicate the butterflies, put more butterflies, fill it all around in there. You could personalize it any way you want to inside this little frame. I just thought this frame was super cute and went really well with our other design for the spring is here on the other side. This one I'm going to be brave and just try to fit it in place where I want it without the paper backing. Down one side, down the other side. Rub it all on. Pull the transfer tape over. And voila. We are done. Put the lid on. There you have it. Nice, pretty snow globe. Oops, I always forget and do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I always do that. Grab my lid.
The lid's a flight risk.
Yes, the lid is a flight risk. When you shake it up, hold your lid in place. I always forget that. But there it is. Spring is here. Nice, pretty spring colors. An area for you to personalize if you want to. All ready to go. So there is that 20 ounce. This one is a glass snow globe, but like I said, the process is the same whether it's acrylic, glass, 15 ounce, 20 ounce. The only thing that changes is how much glitter and glycerin mix you're going to put in. That's it. So let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, #replay if you have any questions after we're not live, so I know which questions need to be answered. Would be great. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye. Oh, let me get out of the screen. There we go. Bye, y'all.